Everybody got quiet. Everybody wants to be on TV.
I know we had a little glitch in finding it ourselves.
I don't think I've ever heard it this silent in here.
Is recording going? Yeah. That's why.
It should be.
Yeah.
I have the two buttons, I guess we'll see.
15 seconds.
Take good notes just in case, so.
I'm going to. That's a good point though, actually.
Just in case.
Can't lay off too much.
Yeah. Because that's something about like your go live is an auto. And it's like, okay, I hit the two buttons that he told me to hit.
Call this meeting to order. You all rise and remove your hats for the pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 23rd meeting.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. So moved.
All right, so you have my claims to approve as well as the allowance docket from last month to approve. Also in the claims, if you want to make a note of the approval of pay application number 3 for Grant Street.
Camera's not on anybody right now, just so you know.
I hit the two buttons that Adam said to hit, so.
It's just showing what's on the computer right now.
Screen.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims paid.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve accounts payable. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. So moved.
I also have the approval of change order number 1. We're kind of calling that extra paving, the CCMG 2025-1.
I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve change order number 1. All in favor say aye.
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 What was the amount of change order number 1?
648,000, or that's the original contract price. It is.
Change order amount,
Yeah.
$59,180.33. That's a reduction.
Oh, it's a reduction?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was called extra paving.
Well,
Right.
it's part of the CCMG project,
Okay.
so it was a decrease in quantities.
So this is what we're
Okay.
seeing on the YouTube channel. It's like that all isn't working.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
That's it.
So you had that application number 3.
Yes.
Adam is saying, did you minimize OBS?
What's that? The application?
Yeah, I don't know if you still need to mention that too, the pay application number 3.
Well, I was confused. Is it in the docket
Yes,
itself?
it's in the document itself.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if
'Cause
you
there's nothing
approved
you
it
need
as
to
part of the
sign.
docket, I think
Okay.
that's all right.
Yeah.
So she's just drawing your attention.
Just
to it.
making a note of it, just so. And that is for Grant
Just
Street.
add,
Pay applications for Grant Street.
So the change order was actually, that's still a decrease?
Yeah.
Okay.
The decrease is actually the CCMG project with Reese Riley
it's just
Okay.
add
and
town of
HRP's
Bremen.
for Grant Street.
Okay, perfect.
It's on there now, Keith.
It's on?
Yep.
It's on.
Okay, I fixed it. Hello, everyone.
There'll be some bugs.
Mr. Wagner?
All right, great, just in time for the camera. So, Keith and I had a meeting. We are looking to take forward some more, I guess, code enforcement issues that have been raised, some by council members, some from just other concerns raised by the community. So Keith and I kind of mapped out a few things that we were going to start taking a look at. Some work for the Unsafe Building Commission. That process has already started in regard to several properties in town. Keith has actually started to engage with a couple property owners on junk or abandoned vehicles, or at least in our perspective as well. So if you have feedback about properties, anything like that, any concerns, go ahead and give them to us. One thing that we talked about earlier this year was the expansion of our zoning ordinance Halo. And you can actually tackle some of those properties through your, issues, I guess I should say, through your zoning ordinance, junk properties, things like that. I think we need an overhaul of the zoning ordinance while we're at it. And essentially, the issue that I think we need to, there's two things we need to do in order to expand our Halo out to where it needs to be. We need to update our comprehensive plan to reflect the additional territory that we would be given authority over. And then I do think I've kept a running list for the year now of things that I want to change in our zoning ordinance. Interestingly enough, someone that we had some contact with at Danch, who has done a lot of work on the Ready project, has just come over to JPR, had heard that we were looking at making some amendments, serious overhaul of the zoning ordinance, and reached out to us. JPR actually helped us convert the document from the Marshall County format into something that we can actually edit. So that's what we knew about it. And I think what we're going to try to do is set up a meeting with them, get an idea on costs, but I think it would be a time saver if we were able to use JPR. It sounds like she's got an overlay. I have some specific content. There's some things in there that I know the zoning ordinance doesn't address that need to be considered. You've read about them on the county level, but data centers and some things like that I think it needs to be modernized a little bit, I guess is what we would say. So we'll try to get an idea of one, what the process would be and what the cost would be, and bring that back to you. On the comprehensive plan, I'm trying to rope Mr. Main into helping with that process. I don't think it needs to be a full-blown overhaul of the comprehensive plan. I think we just need to essentially update it. There are some things that have changed in the last 10 years since we had the comprehensive plan done that are probably pretty different than what the comprehensive plan called for, so we may update some of the other areas with what type of development seems likely based on current circumstances. But that's something that's coming down the pike and related to that kind of code enforcement issue. So Keith and I will be working on the code enforcement issues, I think, pretty intently for several months, because we had one meeting and we didn't get through all the things we needed to cover. We just ran out of time. So there's a lot to do, but we're working on that. I will send you an updated, probably a kind of memorandum on, I guess, Senate Bill 1, as it was explained at the municipal attorney seminar that I went to at the end of June there. I don't think we've had a meeting since then. So there was some useful information. There was some stark concern, I guess I would say. I don't think Bremen is you're not in the category of communities that I was worried about. It's all based on size. The threshold right now is set at 3,500. We're obviously north of that. But there are going to be some things we need to start doing next year. And then in order to take action in 2027. I think you guys have heard, if you're a part of that AIM webcast they had, I think that was done right before the session ended, and there were still some amendments that were being made. This session, or for the attorney session that I had, was obviously over, but they talked throughout it about things they were already working with legislators to try to get amended, because just some things that didn't quite work as well in practice as they maybe appeared on the page. So I think there's still some things coming down. The biggest thing would be getting those projections from Baker Tilly. My understanding from Ms. Atkins is that that is already in the works, but I don't know that Baker Tilly or anybody else is able to do anything until Department of Revenue releases some data that they've never really put out before, is the issue that I've heard. They've never released that tax data by municipality. They've only ever done it by county. So, but there's just some things that we're gonna need to be prepared to take action on beginning in 2026, so.
Should you have that data by the budget meetings, or?
Yeah, I should,
Okay.
for a little more idea of it,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, from what I heard, it's just gonna be a while.
Yeah.
I can't say when, but it just wasn't a great situation from the sound of things, so, yeah. So, I do have an ordinance that we drafted actually just today. We're not gonna have you vote on it, because I'm still waiting for feedback on it, but we need to create a new fund to receive donations for the SRO, program, for the police department. We're gonna set up a separate fund. I think there's existing funds for other kind of charitable, donations,
K-9
the K-9 and
DARE.
DARE. So we'll set up one for the SRO program. So that's pretty simple, but you should have that hopefully the next meeting. So,
Did you have somebody inquire about it, or is it just something that?
I'm not really clear on that. I'll let Chief Kyle speak to it.
We had a couple
Okay.
of people talk about it.
That's good.
Yeah. And we
So-
get donations in off and on, and we use DARE and the K-9, so we just thought the SRO might be a nice spot. So.
Yeah, good.
Is that set up like a 503C or 503C1?
No, I don't think you need that, because it's coming into the town, but my understanding is
So
state.
if somebody
board-
makes a donation, is it a tax write-off for them?
It is, because it's a government entity. So we don't have to set up a 501c3 for it or anything, because it's the government. But we do have very specific rules about how it can be spent and how it's monitored until it's spent. And so rather than putting them in a commingled fund, it sounds like it's better to put them in separate funds. But the question I had was whether I accurately described what we might spend the money on. So this might be one ordinance that we come back to amend and expand the definition of what it could be used for. Some of that may not really be known to us until we're frankly into the program for a year and we say, here's the needs. So.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you. All right, next order of business is new business. I have a resolution here that I would like to read, and then once I read this, we can vote on it to pass this resolution. Resolution number 2020-5. Whereas Luke Kincaid has completed a very successful season as a member of the Bremen High School track team. Whereas Luke Kincaid holds the Bremen Public School records for the 800 meter, 1600 meter, and 3200 meter runs, and is a member of the team that set the 4x800 record. Whereas Luke Kincaid was a captain of the 2025 Bremen track team, which won its first sectional title in 65 years. Whereas Luke Kincaid concluded his career by receiving the Robert S. Hinshaw Mental Attitude Award at the Indiana High School Athletic Association Track and Field State Tournament, which is awarded each year to a senior athlete who demonstrates excellence in regard to mental attitude, scholarship, leadership, and athletic ability. Whereas Luke Kincaid graduated 4th in the 2025 graduating class, served as president of the Student Council, and was a member of the National Honor Society, Key Club, DECA, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Whereas these achievements are the result of much dedication and hard work on the part of Mr. Kincaid, his teammates, coaches, and are a credit and honor to the Bremen Public Schools and Bremen community. And whereas Mr. Kincaid has represented his family, team, school, and community with pride and dignity. And whereas the Town Council of the Town of Bremen is desirous of honoring Mr. Kincaid for this achievement and calling attention to his efforts. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Bremen, Indiana, that on behalf of the municipality and its residents, it does hereby commend Luke Kincaid and expresses the appreciation and gratitude of the community to him for the manner in which he has represented the Bremen community. Dated this 14th day of July, 2025. I will entertain a motion in a second to approve this in the record.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve that record and get that entered.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-5. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So opposed the same? So moved. I'll sign this. Well done, Mr. Kincaid.
Thank you, guys.
Does somebody have a camera I want to use? You need my camera.
I can take
Get
it.
this to the reporter. You got it?
Yep, I got it.
Mom, Dad, you want to get up here?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here without that. All right, there we go. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Good job. Very cool.
Who made the motion on that bill?
Alex. Bill and Alex. Okay, old business. I've got status on Bremen Senior Apartments. Is that something you want to?
I just want to keep it in the conversation. We've got 3 open apartments, and we're being told we're probably going to have a 4th coming up soon. Somebody's moving out, and we're just going under the direction of the council to not fill those apartments. I don't know where we're going with this, but just want to let you know we're going to have 4 empty apartments, and we're still working over there.
So this pertains to the idea of possibly looking for a purchaser of that property.
Ultimately, yes.
I mean, do we want to, I mean, I don't think we're actively engaging in advertising that.
Oh, no, I don't think I think you have to decide what you want to do with it first. And I know we've put, I think, several options. There's a variety of things I think that you need to consider. You know, obviously, there's an expense to maintaining the property, and that was kind of highlighted. If it wasn't for the ARPA funds, I don't know where that money would have come from. On the other hand, there is definitely a role for that type of housing in the community, and I think there's some folks over there that if they weren't there, I'm not sure where they would go. You have the Historic Bremen Society on the first floor. If you sell the building, what's going to happen to it? So I think we almost need to have some discussion first where you weigh those things out. There's some competing interests for sure there. I don't know that there's necessarily a good answer or a right one, but I don't think you've had that conversation yet. So I think that has to happen. Once you say this is the path forward, then I think we can do that in short order. Selling the building, for instance, I mean, there's a process for it, it's not difficult. But if you want to put some requirements on it, something like that, you know, we could do an RFP, request for proposal, and kind of just see what people's pitch would be. You would try to find somebody to operate it for you. The town still owns it. There's a variety of options out there. I just think there needs to be some more discussion among the council. Keith and I have talked about it to death, but ultimately, I think it is time for some decisions to be made. So the building's in, I think, pretty good shape right now. If you were going to potentially sell it, probably a great time to do it.
All right, we can talk further on
I
that.
just wanted to keep the conversation going. The only other thing I have is, you guys have all been part of the email for the developer meetings. Those have been finalized, put our heads together, to carpool or something, but there's 4 that are set, and we're looking at a 5th one, but that's gonna be a trip to Indianapolis. But the 4 are set, one LaPorte, Plymouth, Napanee, and, where are we at? Napanee, Plymouth, Mishawaka, and one LaPorte. If you guys can go, it'd be great. We'd like members of the council to go, RDC to go. We'll need to know who's going because we would need to advertise this. Sure.
What's the,
These are for the potential developments for Third Road property. The developments is part of the Ready project.
okay, so we're going to,
We're going to go and actually see some of the work these developers have done to
oh,
kind of give us
okay.
an idea.
Yeah. Do you have
if-
dates in mind, or?
You should have it, but I absolutely do have them right here. If you want to write them down.
Depending on,
I can give them to you after. the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, depending on numbers, we may have to advertise it as an executive session.
Gotcha.
I'll be sending out the meeting invitations
All
tomorrow
right. Tara's going to send
with all
them.
the
All right,
information.
thank you. All right, public comment.
Yes, actually, ironically, apartments were one of my things tonight. I know you guys obviously haven't decided what you're doing with it, but keep in mind, a vacant property is worth less than a rented property. So the more you let that degress and have less tenants in it, it's gonna drop in value. So if you're thinking about selling it,
Oh.
making the apartments empty is not helping you. Unless you really got a friend or something that wants to buy it cheap, but that's the way it's valued as commercial property.
I think the idea was we wanted to figure out what we were gonna do with that, and as we opened up the apartments, not putting people in, it gave us a little bit of time. So with Keith letting us know we've got 3 open apartments, it kind of puts a little pressure on us to get things figured out, which way do we wanna go?
Yeah, I've had several people ask me, their tenants are telling me, okay, there's 3 or 4 vacant places, but everybody comes over and asks Keith about it, there's nothing available.
Right.
And they're like, you go to town meetings all the time, what's going on? Just because I go to the meeting don't mean I know everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then I seen it on here and I'm like, okay, that's kind of ironic. So, but yeah, just from being in real estate, I know if you have them rented, you get more out of them than you do if it's empty.
Well, I
And
think-
honestly, I'd like to see it go back to being a senior citizens where you guys get a kickback from the state.
well, it was never that.
Yes, it was. That's how they got the grant to redo it in the first place. Martin was your town manager at the time.
I think it may have started that way. There was some kind of
It was
grant,
55 and
some
older.
kind of credit, but at some point that fell off and you're subject to just kind of the regular FHA rules.
But you can
So-
go back to that.
I,
You just gotta do the right paperwork.
well, honestly, I don't know. In this era with state and federal funding the way it is, to be honest, I'm not optimistic. But those are the options that frankly need to be discussed. So to be honest, I think Keith has gotten, I've had people inquire with me, Keith's had people inquire. There are investors, I think, that are looking for it. But everything, at this point, we're not even far enough along to start that process. You guys haven't decided what you want to do with it yet, so I think it's just premature to say it's going to be sold. I don't think that's.
Can we
that's
check
right.
out that funding though, see if there's anything available? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there's a reason why it didn't continue, but that was so long ago. I mean, I'm not even sure where I was in my career. It might not have been.
Just if we're looking at all the options and that'll.
No, I think it's absolutely something that should be explored. So we had at one point last year reached out, the Whitlock is willing to talk to us. At one point, there was an agreement where the Whitlock was managing it for the town. I went back through some old files and I found some records from Mr. Holmes about that. I think that ended right when I started. So, but the Whitlock is, you know, in that category of housing, and I think they would be able to give us some advice or maybe point us in the right direction. I've got a good relationship with the folks over there, so we'll call again and say, hey, are you willing to do this? I don't know that they're necessarily interested in operating it, but they may be able to point us towards someone who would be. So.
All right. Any other public comment? Keith, you didn't have anything to add to your?
No, you got my report?
Okay, thank you. We got here. Nate?
In front of you, you have a couple scope of work estimates.
You know what? Hey,
Sorry.
just for the sake of a public meeting,
Okay.
and I'm kind of going to go on the fly here. No, you're good. Stand up. Why don't you, if you have something to say, get up, say your name and your department.
Okay.
And then going back to public comment, we probably should stand up and in public comment, say your name, your address, and then say your piece or whatever, you know, whatever.
Do you want them to come up to the table when they do their
Just step
Yeah, you just
out.
step in the middle there, I think would be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nate Lockwood, Cemetery Superintendent. In front of you have a couple scope of work estimates for some pavement repairs, paving that really desperately needs done at the cemetery. You about get whiplash driving across Steve Irvin Drive there. And quite frankly, I think it's embarrassment for how we want our cemetery and our town property to look. And I'm working diligently on trying to do everything I can to make the place look and appear and function as nice as possible. So with help from my perpetual care fund, which I've already discussed with Megan, I would like to move forward with the Super Seal quote as quoted. All quotes were similar in price, but they were hugely different in the scope of work. And I think the Super Seal has the best amount of value and work being done to make, you know, the biggest advancement for the amount of money and make the taxpayer dollars be used most responsibly. So it's a good chunk of money, but I think it needs to be spent to make our cemetery and function and appear respectful for our loved ones that are buried there. So
Do we need a motion or is this an approval by the?
if you need me to read the quote number, I can
We have
read it out loud.
I don't have it, so why don't you tell me?
Okay, so the total quote from Super Seal from out of Warsaw is $42,302. So in a nutshell, that's going to include, just for public record, it's going to include milling and repaving a couple areas that have webbed or missing entirely asphalt. It's going to be milling out large cracks with a 24-inch mill, fill with hot mix and roll flat, cleaning up all the edges, crack sealing all the large cracks with hot rubber, and seal coating all surfaces that are outlined on the map in front of me, or in front of you. And like I said, the main goal is to repair what's bad, maintain what's good, and get the most value for our money. So.
How much is in that account, the perpetual care? For the cemetery, do you know?
appropriations. So
I'm not sure, I can find out.
I'm just curious. And is it a separate appropriation number or is it built
Yes,
into the?
yeah, he's got 2 different line items there.
And if need be, I've also got some repair funds remaining that I can use to backfill if there's not enough in the liquid, what's not currently in the CD investments. So if I need to cover some of it out of my current budget, I can also do that. So I'm sort of running out of time on the, not to put you on the spot, but I am sort of running out of time on the 20-day window for the quote, the guaranteed price on the quote. I can't venture that it'd be changing a lot, but it could. So
I would.
Normally with sealed bids, we have JPR take it under advisement. Is this a situation we don't need to take under advisement?
You're not over the threshold for it, so I think you can use quotes. I mean,
Do we
it
need an
sounds
actual
like
motion
the
because
quotes
of-
that came back were actually for, there's different scope of services.
I was kind of sort of shooting for a kind of a dollar amount, which I kind of took from advisement from Alex. It's a little more than that, but one of the areas that really needs milled is behind the chapel. The asphalt is busted up. It keeps catching the plow blade during the winter. And quite honestly, that's where a lot of winter services happen. And so we need to make sure that that area stays clear and safe for people to operate, in there. So that was kind of an add-on from, it originally came back at around 33,000, but with adding that repair around the catch basins and just the scope of the damaged asphalt there, it was additional up to the 42,000 number. So
I think it just needs a vote, so I think quotes is fine.
I'll make a motion for the cemetery to proceed with the super seal scope of work for the amount of $42,302.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to move forward with the super seal quote, $42,302. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same? So moved.
Have you come up with a plan for future and what we need to do and how we're gonna?
part of that is in my budget, kind of the capital asset that Megan sent out. So hopefully this doesn't become a large project. We can try to stay up on the repair and maintenance.
Okay.
I'm not sure what was done previous to my employment, but going forward, I want to make it as good as possible. So
Okay.
Careful.
I do.
Your predecessor was sitting right over here.
I wasn't taking a jab. He knows what it's like out there. So
Perfect when I left it.
thank
That's
you.
right.
Thank you, Nate. Henry?
Roads do.
I have nothing.
Austin?
Stand here. Austin Layman, Street Department. One that I have is Tim's retiring after 40 years, October 3rd into this. Just talking to Megan, Keith, and we want to start the process now. So that way hopefully somebody can be hired in before he leaves. So with your permission, I'd like to open it, like I said, house, and then if possible, just to move the process along, if no candidates, or we could just take, if there is anyone, take it under advisement and open it to the public and try to move the process along, if that's possible.
Move forward. Sorry to see a long time employee go like that, but obviously served a lot of years, so.
He's ready. He's in retirement mode. He's taught us a lot, though.
He is. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Matt?
Yeah, my report.
Chief?
Matt Nair, Fire Chief. I had a guy, July 1st, retired after 34 and a half years. So the association voted on Jonathan Shoemaker. He's been in our auxiliary program for 5 years, so if you get a chance to say congratulations. He's on a 6-month probation. So.
Excellent.
And you have my report.
Thank you. Brian?
Brian Main, Park Superintendent. I don't know whether I'm wearing my proud uncle hat or my superintendent hat at the moment, but I'd be remiss to say if I didn't mention Luke came to me last year, wanted to work for me in the park department. I said, there's this nepotism thing. You can't work for your uncle. So he volunteered all last summer. Some of you are aware, put in over 100 hours. Working at the park, had more hours than some of the kids that got a paycheck from me. So got a lot done on behalf of the town as well, in addition to all the things that he accomplished at school and on the track team. So appreciate that, obviously, from Luke. Second note, there's only 3 weeks left of the aquatics facility being open with the pool and the splash pad jointly. So if you haven't made it out there for an experience, I know I've seen several faces, obviously sitting in chairs, make it down there. But 3 weeks left if you want to try it out. Then we'll revert back just to splash pad hours once school starts back up. That's when it'll be free entirely for the community throughout the day, evenings, weekends. It's been a good season so far. I'm ready for it to be done, but it's been good. We've had a lot of activity, a lot of positive comments, and a lot of interest in it. So thanks for your support on that.
Thank you. Brad, I don't know how I missed you over there. You're on the wrong side. I guess you're on the groom side or the bride side, but,
I'm scared to look at
I'm
Joe.
good. I have nothing.
all right.
Thanks.
I'll entertain a motion to approve department reports.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second to approve department head reports. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed the same. So moved.
I have just a few things to point out that were in our report. We are, I just checked with engineers before I came to the meeting. We have several general contractors that are holding plan sets for the wastewater facility, so that's a positive thing. And if you remember, we kind of broke the project up into 2 units. The treatment facility components, which includes the influent lift station and all of the stuff that's kind of preparatory to the treatment facility going full forward, and then the buildings. So that's good news. I think he told me there's somewhere around 14 general contractors holding plans, so hopefully they all stick with us. So, and that's about triple what we had before, and then it got down to 1. So that's all good news. As you can see, and I don't need to tell you that there's been good progress on your parking lot. And I don't know about Austin and Matt, but I couldn't be happier with this contractor. He's really performed well, very diligent. He's gone above and beyond as far as I'm concerned. So that's going to be a good relationship, I think, for the town. And just to let you know, also the Lake of the Woods project, from the district's viewpoint, that connection coming to the town is under design. So sounds like it's going to become really quick. So
I got a draft agreement
yep.
at the end of last week,
Right.
so it's still under review.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So other than that, I have nothing else.
I just happened to be driving by there on Saturday and had 4 or 5 of the superintendents who made a couple of executive decisions.
Yeah.
Hope they were okay.
Fine with me.
Okay.
It's your parking lot.
Everybody was kind of like thinking, well, so once we got it out there and we were able to look at it, we
Yeah.
thought some things need to be adjusted, so good. Are they planning on?
I think it's paving this week.
Possibly tomorrow.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
I got one question for Tim.
Yeah,
With the wastewater plant bidding, have you guys put together anything so we can see comparatively what it would have been in the original bid versus what it's going to be?
We can.
Okay.
Sure.
I'd just like to see that, to see.
We actually had, so we did between the time that we started negotiating with the folks from Thieneman the second time around,
Yeah.
we actually took that out and had it professionally estimated. So there were 2 sets of estimates that were being used, and the one that we had done by the project estimator, actually out of Fort Wayne, was really close to what we got from Thieneman. Thieneman is a plant holder again, so. good to
I'd just
hear.
be curious to see what the
Yeah.
trending's doing right now.
Yeah, I can tell you that I don't think anything's going down in price.
Okay.
I wish it was going the other way, but, so. And some of the equipment obviously is gonna be affected by tariffs for the products that are coming from overseas, so. It's one of those things that we have to live with.
Thank you.
alrighty. Town council comments.
Nothing tonight?
Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight.
I have a question on minutes. Seems to me that we're not getting old business listed on our minutes like we should. There's several things that we discuss in a meeting, and then they get forgotten for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, or whatever. And I think we need to do a better job of including those in old business. I don't know if that's you personally. I
Are you
don't know
talking
if
about
it's
the
second.
minutes or the agendas?
Well, when the agenda comes out,
Right.
the old business, a lot of the things we discuss go by the wayside. They don't get rehashed, and then they get forgotten for 3 months. And I think we need to start paying better attention to our minutes, what we're discussing, and then what we're not following up on.
Okay. So my recommendation actually would be on the agendas. Don't take things off of old business.
I agree.
So if it goes on there, just keep it rolling every meeting until we get a
But also, they're
resolution.
not getting put on there as old business. Like the hotel situation, or the subway building. You know, it was left set for so long that it's just absolutely, well, we don't know what the condition is. The parking, or the lot down here at Dewey and Center, what's the status of that? We need better updates. We need to keep it in front of us so we can actually accomplish something, not just discuss it, set it, bring it back up again in 3 months, rediscuss it, bring it back up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So I mean, I think the minutes are the way they're supposed to be. They just cover what's discussed in the meeting. I think it's a matter of how do we keep agenda items rolling forward. So
I think we probably, for everybody's purpose, maybe when we're, something like that, a topic comes up, we'll put that as old business, so everybody knows that's gonna be old business, and we'll put that on the docket.
Whatever we need to do, I just think, as a group, we sometimes forget that we are working something, just put on the back burner, and then we don't accomplish anything. 3 months later, it gets brought up again, and I would like to.
I mean, a lot gets discussed, you know, we
Yes.
put everything under old business, we're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna have 12 pages of old business, so I mean, I
Well,
think we're
maybe
gonna have
not, then
to.
maybe we'll start accomplishing more.
Right.
We'll get decisions made, and we won't have that big long list.
the hotel's a good example. It's, you know, we talk about it about every 90 days.
Right.
It's just a matter about
I mean,
putting you in a position to pull the trigger. So, but like in terms of action steps tonight, I made a note, you know, Alex asked, hey, can we get, you know, can we see if there's any kind of grant funding available
Right.
to keep it as that type of housing? We'll do our best to run that down before the next meeting.
Right.
So yeah, but I understand what you're getting at. I'm just not sure it's an issue with the minutes. I think it's the agendas.
So I didn't know if the minutes weren't getting put over into the old business on the agenda. I don't know where that lacks.
You know, we've talked about making some changes in how we do this,
Right.
and we got them to Tara and Megan together pretty early on after the last meeting. So that part is good. I think we need to clarify who's actually gonna dump them into the Dropbox file.
Sure.
So Megan and I will talk about that. But no, I think the process with Tara to get the items on the agenda is working. But we're gonna start to see things pile up unless we get them actually addressed.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's all I have.
Can I say something on that? So one of the reasons that I send out the occasional email to you, man, is kind of to keep that conversation going about Mama Arenas, about obvious stuff down there.
I greatly
Just to
appreciate
kind
that.
of keep
I
it
do.
fresh in the memory.
But we aren't getting things solved here on our end of it, by the way we're going about it. It just.
Understood.
Everything's falling through the cracks, and I think it's time we stop doing that.
I think what we wanted, my thought would be that we try to make old business things that we, like these 4 people here, are putting back to you to make a decision. That we think we've worked it to the extent that we can, and, you know, it's something that is now council level to actually decide what happens.
Right.
So, I don't know if you want on the apartments, if you want to make one of you kind of the point person to work with really Keith and I on moving it forward. Like if you want to volunteer, Bill.
Well, I don't care, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Mike's the president, he can appoint.
Well, it
Wants me to, I'll do
it wouldn't hurt for us to have someone on the council level in the loop with us about what we think is actually going on there. I think it would make sense to help move it forward, because we've talked about it at length at this point, and it really is something that we need to figure out how to present it to the group of you. I think we would probably do that in executive session. So it may be something that we set for a separate meeting, and we kind of run, here's your options. And then an upcoming meeting, you pick one. So,
Right.
okay.
Alrighty,
I'll make a motion to it.
hold on.
Sorry.
Congratulations again. Thank you for your service on the park. I remembered you doing that, but the reminders, pretty outstanding. So thank you for your service to the park and the town. So,
I'll
on
make a
that
motion
note,
to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
I want to know what you do in your spare time.
Video